So where do the Denver Broncos go from here after the injury to Pat Surtain? Just in case you guys missed the earlier announcement, Pat Surtain has suffered a strained pectoral muscle. He is going to be out for the foreseeable future. The timeline seems to be 4 to 6 weeks. The Broncos are debating whether or not to place him on short-term IR. Not the worst news in the world, especially given what the other outcome could have been, meaning surgery and out for the rest of the regular season. But the Broncos are going to have to contend probably these next 4 games without him. Those next 4 games are at Houston, at home versus the Raiders on Thursday Night Football, at home versus Kansas City, then Denver has their bye, then they go on the road to Washington on Sunday Night Football. These are all going to be tough games. Even that Raiders game, the Raiders passing attack has not been very good, but division game, short week, anything can happen under those circumstances. And we have seen Geno Smith play at a high level before. You've got CJ Stroud and this Texans passing attack. If their offensive line holds up, CJ Stroud can hurt you downfield. We already know what Patrick Mahomes and company can do, and when this Commanders offense is at full health, when Jaden Daniels and all of his receivers are healthy, and when the offensive line is playing well, they can also get explosive plays on you. So, what is Denver going to do moving forward without Pat Surtain? The most easy answer at boundary corner alongside Riley Moss is to plug in Chris Abrams-Drain. Denver drafted KAD last year to be a boundary corner out of the University of Missouri. I really like him in that role. Jahdae Barron, they drafted to be an inside nickel corner. They initially expected Barron to be their starting nickel, but Jaquan McMillan was playing so well in training camp in the preseason, they couldn't take the job away from him. Barron's played well in the dime, and I know people are wondering why Barron isn't going to go into the role with PS2 out. I just feel like they trust Barron a lot more as a rookie in the slot, where he's a little bit more protected and not on an island, because the Broncos do like to play a lot of man coverage, which puts their corners outside on islands. They trust KAD there. Another thing that I've seen fans suggest is, why not put Jaquan McMillan outside and then put Barron at nickel? I could see that, but I don't know how they feel about Jaquan McMillan as an outside boundary corner. They like him as a slot corner more as well. So I think Denver is, at least for now, going to ride things out with Chris Abrams-Drain. I love Chris Abrams-Drain. I was a big fan of his coming out, but I do feel like he was getting picked on once he came into the game, and the numbers back that up. Dak Prescott got him a few times. He allowed 5 receptions on 5 targets for 66 yards, no touchdowns, in Week 8 against the Dallas Cowboys. Chris Abrams-Drain, he's a guy who I feel like is in good position a lot of the time, but he's not the biggest dude in the world. He's not always going to be in the perfect position to make the play. Sometimes he just doesn't quite have the strength. He doesn't quite have the length. So with Chris Abrams-Drain, there are limits to, I think, what he can be as a player. But I also feel Chris Abrams-Drain, at least as a spot starter stepping in for these next few games, he can play well. But I am warning you now, Broncos country, Chris Abrams-Drain is going to be under that same spotlight that Riley Moss was under for these last several weeks. Moss is probably not going to be targeted as much. Chris Abrams-Drain will be that guy who's getting those targets, and he's probably going to surrender some completions and maybe even some penalties on those targets. I'm trying to prepare you guys for that now because I can already see the crap storm on Twitter that would happen if Chris Abrams-Drain gives up some big plays, but I do feel like that will probably happen. You've just got to ride things out and stay the course with Chris Abrams-Drain. Now, as far as what the Denver Broncos can do, they do have a couple of corners on the practice squad. The most likely one they would bring up is Reese Taylor. He's been on the Broncos active roster before, so Reese Taylor coming up, that could make some sense. But if they bring Taylor up, they are going to have to look for some other corners out there to maybe bring onto the practice squad. I want to go ahead and bring this in. Let's take a look at some of the free agent corners who are available. James Bradbury, no, he's 32 years old. He didn't play well the last time that he saw time with the Philadelphia Eagles, so I'm good there. Kendall Fuller, no, kind of the same thing last time he saw time with Miami. Stephon Gilmore, he's 35 years old, but he's at least still a competent corner at the NFL level. I would be somewhat interested in Stephon Gilmore if he were interested in coming here. Emmanuel Mosley, he's an injury-prone player, so that'd be kind of a flyer the Denver Broncos would take on him. You've got Corey Ballentine. I want to say Ballentine just got picked up on a practice squad, but don't quote me on that. I don't know why Poyer's here. He's a safety, and he's on a team right now. You've got Asante Samuel Jr. That's probably the most intriguing option. Asante Samuel Jr., former Chargers corner, son of Asante Samuel Sr., obviously. Really good NFL player in his day. Samuel Jr.'s dealt with some injuries, and that's why he hasn't been signed. But if he's healthy and ready to go, I'd be willing to take a flyer on him at this point, sign him to the practice squad, see what happens. Cam Sutton, not really interested in him. He's got off-the-field issues that deter me from him. Elijah Riley, maybe. Trayvon Mullen, he hasn't been in the league in a while, so I wouldn't be interested in Mullen. Caleb Farley, he could be an option possibly. Remember, he was in that same draft class as Pat Surtain. He has dealt with a lot of injuries, but maybe Farley, but I don't know. Everybody else on this list doesn't really intrigue me too much. So let me know in the comments section below, guys. Is there a free agent corner out there that you would be interested in the Denver Broncos going out and grabbing? For me, there are a couple of guys, but I would much rather the Broncos maybe explore the trade market. That's going to be a separate video. Alright guys, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. Additionally, if you guys want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. I would really appreciate it. It's not mandatory whatsoever, but if you guys want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out and helping this channel grow, I would really appreciate it. Link in the description below. Alright guys, and until next time, I'm your host Gage Madrid, saying peace out.